Good evening and welcome to the live show. We had a mixed day today. We had Nvidia, Meta, and Google were pretty up. Microsoft was just sitting there a little flat, went down a little bit, and Apple and Tesla they went down. Apple went down. Apparently, they have like a lawsuit happening, and also competing in China with cell phones, so they kind of discounted the prices. So we'll go over that when we talk about Apple. But yeah, all kinds of good stuff and plenty of poppers happening today. Of course, we're always seeing the poppers and hitting them bad boys. NITO, how about that bad boy? Went up like over 300% today. Just tons of them that we look at. CGBS. So here we go. Let's get cruising. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. We'll just start it off with NITO. As a matter of fact, that's NITO. N2 off. We were way early on this. Definitely on a laptop travel list. It ran today like an animal right there. NITO. Let's see what the numbers were. 160. Or it opened at 26. It got up to 160. It's at 150 right now, and it looks like it might shoot up some more tomorrow morning and stay in that top. So watch it for a momentum play early because it looks like it could do it right there. NITO. And I meant to write it down in the beginning, and I didn't even write it down. But there you go with a momentum play. And that was a big popper right there. Like I said, over 300%. And it was over 599 million. So quite a popper right there. NITO, definitely early on that one. And so many others. So let's get cruising and see what's happening here. Holo is running around again today. It's trying to stay up in that top area. It was coming down and hit that line, and it's trying to bounce back up. So let's keep an eye on this. Could be another good momentum play in the morning. Holo, HOLO. We caught it from the bottom all the way to the top. Now it pulled back, and it looks like I said, it's keeping itself in that top area. So watch it in the morning, see if it wants to run up some more. HOLO, RVSN, another one. It ran up pretty big. It was pulling down in the top, but it never came out of that top, and it looks like it might be trying to stay in there. So keep an eye on this. If it's trying to stay in that top, it'll definitely curl back up and pop up in the morning if it is staying up there. If not, you'll see it wanting to pull back there. So keep an eye on that RVSN for a little momentum in the morning as well. FFIE, this was up another dollar today, and it did pull out of the top, and then it popped back up in there today. So we saw that with all three of them. And so, yeah, it was a big runner the other day on New Year's Eve right there. It went from 387 to 510. Today it went 262 to 386. It's at 352. So FFIE not looking bad. And again, we were early on this down here in the 130s, 110 area. So we definitely saw that one super early. And that's FFIE. SVMH, another one started to move today. It was up a little bit more. It got into the top, and it looks like tomorrow it might want to bounce up there and run. So keep an eye on this thing in the morning. It ran the other day to 8 cents, and today it got up to 6 cents. It's sitting at 6 right now, and it's not looking bad. So watch that one to try to go momentum tomorrow morning. And of course, our LGHL, the good old lion. You know, we were super early on this thing, and it was running around like a lion today, 19 to 33. It's at 23, and it's not looking bad right there. Still set up, wants to run it, just poked its head into the top. So probably going to catch up with an animal up at the top and slay it up there because that lion looks like it's probably going to be running tomorrow morning. So keep an eye on that LGHL, and we'll look at the other big cats, JagX, real fast. Let's see what that Jaguar is doing. JagX. That was up 8 cents today, and we were looking at it. This thing's curling up and looking good. We were saying that last week, and yeah, this thing's about to run up some more. 101 to 111. It's at 108 and looking good right there. So keep an eye on JagX right there. LGHL wants a little momentum, and let's look at the Cheetah CTNT. This was down a little bit, but I think it went up in the after hours. It's just in that channel right there, CTNT. And that channel, the 50s down here at 308, the 20s up here at 331. This thing ran from $3 to 321, and it's at 308. So The cheetah is getting set up. It's just bouncing around that channel while it does it. So there you go. It's CTNT. So watch that to set up. And we'll look at RCAT and see what that was doing today. It was down a little bit. I know that. And it is pulling back some. We'll see when it gets to that MACD line what it wants to do. So that is down here at 998. It's at 1215. We'll see if it wants to pull back that far. And that is RCAT, RCAT. And let's look at DRUG. This thing's about to get on drugs again. We talked about it before, and it's just been a crazy one. It ran from way down here in like the dollar range, ran all the way to $79, $80 up there. Right now it's at 41, DRUG. And it is looking pretty decent right there. DRUG. It went from 35 to 42. It's at 41.76 right now. So looking good right there. DRUG. And the letter U, Unity Software. We were talking about this morning. And this is starting to curl up. It was running around today. And 24.43 to 26.46. It's at 24.71. So it did close a little higher, but it still looks really good right there. So keep an eye on that letter U, Unity Software. That's looking really good right there. LNKS, we've looked at this one last week, and let's see what it wants to do right here. It's called Linkers Industries. It's a fairly new one, and I was saying it just started to show the RSI. It has no MACD yet. It's that one that started December 5th, I believe. And it does look like it's trying to bottom out there. So we'll see if that 124 was its bottom the other day. Today's low is 140. It's at 148. So LNKS is not looking bad. Again, I like to see a lot more data. But for what I can see, it looks pretty decent to try to curl its way up. So we'll keep an eye on it. People have been watching it, and that's what I can see. So I'm telling you what I see, and we'll watch it. And it does look like that bottom was on New Year's Eve there at 124. So like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. Maxon, this was up almost $1 or over $1 today, and this thing's curling up and looking really good. And again, we mentioned this the other day, right before it started to run up there, and it did run 753 to 893 today. It's at 829 and looking good. So keep an eye on Maxon to continue to run up. MAXN, that looks like it wants to keep going. How about FAMI, FAMI? We were looking at this the other week, and it was getting set up, and it's right there, guys. I'm telling you, it started to move today. I meant to post it, actually, and what did it do? 33. It came down to 30. It's at 32, but it's looking pretty good right there. I would say it's getting set up. Watch for any little dip and rip, but I think it's going to try to rip. So keep an eye on that FAMI. And that is FAMI right there, getting set up. And this one right here seems to be a lot of talk too. QNCCF. I know we don't do a lot of OTCs. I don't really look at them too much, but this one had some crazy news. I was reading the news thing. Somebody had sent it over, and apparently a company said that they had already tested out their software or whatever they have, and it wasn't good, and apparently it was completely false. I'm not sure. And so it did just sit there at like 118. It ran up yesterday. I remember it was like 120s or something. Yeah, 127, or not yesterday, on New Year's Eve right there. And it did. It ran up to 127, and today it's at 118. It's just kind of sitting there, but it did get up to the top. So I could see it pulling back a little bit and trying to reset up. And again, I only have that one look on it, and that's QNCCF, and it's Quantum Emotion Corp. So we'll see what kind of emotions it has, but it is up at the top, and we'll see if it tries to pull back there. COEP, let's look at that bad boy and see what this is doing right here. COEP, and this one just recently split right there on New Year's Eve. What a day to split. And then it just started to pop right there on New Year's Eve as well. So not only did it split, it had a party and went crazy. So on New Year's Eve, it went 290 to 968 on that split. And then today it went 642 to 683, but down to the 450 area. And then it closed at 539. So we'll have to keep an eye on this thing because it did run up. It doesn't even show it ran up that high on FinViz or yeah, on FinViz on New Year's Eve, but it looks like it did run up to like 968. It must have done it in the after hour, unless this isn't correct and it's the reverse split look. I'm trying to figure it out right here. I'm trying to get an idea, but I'll look at this COEP. It's hitting some resistance right here anyway at that $5-6 area, right where it's at. So it blasted through it the last couple days, and we'll see what it can do. I'll keep an eye. I'll look at this tomorrow, get a better idea right there, because that reverse split there on New Year's Eve kind of just has my look thrown off. I'm not sure what it's saying right there. So I'll take a better look at COEP. ELAB, let's look at that. ELAB. This one's up 19 cents. We were talking about this one cruising up, and it is curling up and looking much better again. It ran recently, and it ran 235 to 319. It's at 247, so it did close up. It does look good. Keep your eye on it. Barbara, I know she's watching it, and this thing's been moving. So there you go with that one. We'll look at TWG, is it? Top Wealth Group. Yeah, I didn't even add it here, but it was down a little bit today. I did look at it. It was kind of flat, actually. I don't know if New Year's Eve was its top there at that 28, almost 29 cent area, but it is a little bit flat. It could pull back a little bit and set back up, so it's not in a bad spot, and it could have just been some healthy pullback today. 27 to 28, down to 26. It's at 27. So basically, opened and closed at the same spot, and just has that look. So it could easily just pop back up tomorrow, and that's at TWG, Top Wealth Group. And MARX, let's see what that's doing real quick. That is a shell company. Let's see what it's doing here. It took a nice dip today, huh? Down 687. I have to see this thing. MARX. Let's see. 849 it opened. It got up to 907 and it came down to 219 and closed at 265. And it looks like it's just crossing through right now to come through, to come down, but it's hitting that bottom. I Does it look like it wants to bounce? It almost has like a bounce type look on it. We'll have to keep an eye on this one in the morning, and I'm not promising you it's going to bounce, but we'll just keep an eye on it for a bounce because at MARX, it is a shell company, took a nice dip. It's not in the basement. It stopped right at that bottom line there, and yeah, it's right there on the MACD too, so it could bounce back up. I'm just saying, keep an eye and look for it. You'll know if it is, that's for sure, because that's a serious dip today. So watch that MARX because you could see that little bounce early in the morning right there. So you web bowlers, keep an eye on it. And let's see what else is here. MBIO, let's look at that. Mustang Bio, that was running today. MBIO, I did see that cruising around. 18 cents to 44, and it closed at 22. So there you go with MBIO, Mustang Bio. That ran like a Mustang today and kept on cruising there. And I think it's going to continue to run up. It stayed in this channel right here. The 50 is right there at like 21 cent and 21 and a half. And it closed, it says what, 22 cent, 21 and a half. It's like right there, 22 cents. It doesn't look bad. So keep your eye on MBIO. That could get moving some more. CGBS, that's at Crown Holdings, and it was running up today. And we saw it the other day. We watched it before it even ran up on New Year's Eve. So we had known about this way down at the bottom, probably back here at what, 26 cents. And today it went 40 to 125, and it's at 74. So that was a nice hit right there, CGBS, and we knew all about that one nice and early. And that one's popped up in the top. If anything, it'll be a momentum play early, so keep an eye on it. ADTX, this thing started to move in the after hours a little bit more. It's curling up. You know that we were super early on this bad boy. Found that bottom as well, and we kind of knew right around that 18 cent area, 17 cent was where it was bottomed out, and now it's at 21, and it's not looking bad right there. So let's keep an eye on it because it is curling up. We've been watching it. ADTX, you could have a big mover right here, and it could start to get cruising tomorrow. So watch that ADTX, and another one we were super early on. So you want to keep an eye on that bad boy. LYT, what is that? Lightest technology holdings. Let's see. It popped up the other day. What day is that? December 20th, before Christmas. And then it pulled back down back into the basement, but looks like it is trying to light back up here. So let's see. I would say so. New Year's Eve could have been its bottom there at 82 cents. Today it went 87 to 97. It's at 89 and not looking bad right there. LYT. I'd keep an eye on this. It does look like it's trying to curl out of the basement right there. So I would take a peek at that tomorrow and see if it wants to. That very well could get cruising right there. LYT NIVF. NIVF, that was up a penny today. We've been looking at this thing. It is curling up here and looking much better. So keep an eye on it. I think it did run a little bit the other day. It ran a couple times. It ran early in December 11th, and then it ran on about the 23rd and right after Christmas, the 26th. And right now it is set up. So keep an eye on that NIVF. It is getting set up in a good spot. How about that Uber? Who said Uber was ready to drive up right there? It was up almost $3 today, over 285 right there. So Uber started to get moving. I hope you guys were listening. 60.58 to 63.52. So there you go. It was well over $3. It closed at 63.43. So there you go with Uber, looking good, starting to cruise. And we were all over that the other day as well. And we knew that bad boy was going to get cruising. So that's doing exactly what we thought. FDMT. Let's see what FDMT is doing. That's 4D Molecular Therapeutics. And it is curling up off that bottom. It did bottom out there on New Year's Eve at, 522. Looks like it's bottom. And today it was starting to move. FDMT. And it went 569. $6. It's at 583. It's about to cross through right there, and it has some resistance. It's 20s right there at 631, but it should get right there and try to move past it. So keep your eye on that FDMT. That looks like it has some momentum right there to keep on moving. And how about Genius Group? I believe GNS, Genius Group it is. And that thing's setting up. Just let it kind of pull back a hair. It has a couple more days, maybe a week or so. GNS. I know we looked at it right here, right before Christmas, I remember. Or it was probably right there on the 19th, 20th, or the 23rd. I remember looking at it because it was down in the 51, 52 cent area. And then it ran up and got to like the 83s. And now it's just kind of pulling back right here, but setting up again. So keep your eye on that GNS. And it is setting up. It'll have a nice little run pretty soon. It's just not right now, but again, it did just run up. I remember we saw it down there. It ran up. It's pulling back to set back up. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll know when that's going to run back up. BNGO is that one we were looking at last week. I remember it ran up right there on December 30th, and then it ran up on New Year's Eve. And now it's just kind of pulling back. It hit some resistance. Let it set back up. BNGO. And it will get set up. That 20 is coming up to meet the 50. And it went from 31 to 32 down to 25. It's at 28. So again, let it just pull back a little bit. It could get down here into the 23 area, and we'll see what it wants to do, but let it get set up, and then it'll pop back off for BNGO. And NCI, let's see what this one, I remember this ran the other day. Was it New Year's Eve? Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. NCI did run, and that one is on my watch list. That's how I knew. 62 to 163, and it came down to 61 is where it closed in. And today, 72 to 73, down to 57, and it closed at 63, but it still looks like it wants to go up. So keep an eye on this Neo Concept International Group, NCI. And I know we had looked at that before, but it does look kind of crazy, like it wants to bounce back up somehow. And like I said, it had a nice run just the other day. So keep an eye on that NCI right there. And let's take a look at, let's see, GRRR. This thing went nutty today again, up another $6, and it's popping up into the top again. So it never came out. It just started to pull back, and it was hitting that line, and we were saying maybe it'll bounce back up, and it did. It bounced right back up there, and it went $20 to 25.40. and it's at 24.10 right now. So G with three R's, still cruising up, and I would watch it tomorrow as a momentum play because it looks like it wants to continue up there right there. EYEN, that one was running, and it pulled back a little bit today, but it did run up New Year's Eve right there, and we were keeping an eye on it. And yeah, it did run up 16 to 18 right there, and it pulled back down to like 11 or 12. Oh wait, that was New Year's Eve, was 14 to 30. Today it was 16 to 18, pulled back down to 12. And it does look like it's trying to pull back down to this 20 for whatever reason, down to that 10 cents. So we'll keep an eye on that EYEN, Inovia, and see if it wants to bounce back off that 20 and get cruising. But we had seen that right before it popped too, and we were watching it and even said it was about to run. So that one got cruising, and they don't run that long. So you got to just kind of lock in those profits. And like I say, you don't want to trade them all. Just pick the ones that you're confident in, the ones that you like the charts with, and trade them smart, and you'll do perfectly fine. Trust me. PGHL up another 5 cents today, and this thing's been trying to get set up. It did run up the other day. It's in a good spot right there. So it is trying to get moving. PGHL, keep an eye on it. I think it will continue to move up. So it is set up, and it looks like it wants to continue to go up. How about that CRIS? We were looking at this last night saying it looked good. It jumped up over $1 today. So that was cruising in the morning. And we were saying, look at that bad boy this morning and see, and it was 424 to 589, and it closed at 450. So definitely looking good today. CRIS, that Curus Inc. And like I said, we were looking at it yesterday. It looked like it wanted to bounce right off that bottom, had that weird look. And there you go. It certainly did. And another one, LITM, Snow Lake Resources. We've seen this one before. This one was run up the other day there, LITM, and just kind of pulling back. So we'll keep an eye and see if this one wants to get set up. VCF or VSEE. Let's see what this is doing. This one took a nice dip the other day. It's curling up real good right there. I can see that. VSEE, I would say keep your eye on this thing. It's going to get back up over 144. It's at 139. Then it can get cruising again. So VC is trying to get set up right there. So keep an eye on that. And let's look at CGTX. Let's see what that's doing. CGTX. Oh, CGTX. There we go. Cognition Therapeutics. I remember looking at this before. It just came out of the top. It looks like it's trying to curl back up again. CGTX. And it does look like it's trying to curl back up. So just look for it to be a momentum play. It ran on the 18th, 46 to 134. And it does look, I mean, it doesn't look like it really wants to get that high, but it does look like it's trying to run back up a little bit. So keep your eye on it and see if it's curling back up there. CGTX, if you like that one. And UK, let's look at this one, the UK. And this one is curling up really good right there. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. And the UK is looking good. It's U Commune International, 125 to 138. It closed at 134, and it looks pretty solid right there. So keep an eye on UK because it does want to run up. Has some resistance there at that 129, but I have a feeling it could get right through it tomorrow and run. So keep your eye on that. And again, they're all quick poppers. So I was going to say it almost has a bearish look, but just wants to pop up here. So keep your eye on UK for that pop. AI, that's that C3.ai Inc. company. And this one's just kind of pulling back here. So not one that we've ever really liked here. We've seen it pop up a couple times, but nothing crazy. Let it pull back a little more, probably down to that 33 area possibly, and or 32 maybe. It's at 34.80. So just see if it wants to pull back a little bit more, and then we'll check it out there. So that's AI, the letter AI, and we'll keep an eye on that. But again, we never really went crazy about that one. CWST, let's see what that one is. That's a waste system. Let's see what it's doing. It's just pulling back here. Let me take a better look at it in the after hours. CWST. And yeah, that one's just kind of pulling back. I don't see that one popping right there, so we'll just keep an eye on that. It can pull back there. The letter T, which is AT&T, this one was getting set up. I did see this earlier, as a matter of fact, and it did get in between that channel. It was curling up. It went 22.79 to 23.17. It closed at 22.84. And again, it's not looking bad. It's curling up right there, the letter T, AT&T right there. So keep an eye on that one because it's not looking bad. ARKW, that's at what was that one? Oh, Arc Next Generation is what it is. And it is at 109 and it went up $1. It just looks like it's pulling back to me. I gotta see what this is doing. ARKW right here, 109 to 110, and its low is 107. It closed at 109.19, so it did close a little lower than it opened right there. And it does look like it's stair stepping down a little bit. So that is that ARKW. And I'm imagining that's ARC. Yeah, that's ARC Next Generation, the ETF right there, because ARKK is ARC Innovation ETF. And that's the one I'm familiar with, I believe. And that one looks like it's pulling back there too. So we'll see if it gets stuck on the 50, but it looks like it's pulling back right there. And TDOC, I believe that is. That's Teladoc Health. That was up today. And that one's actually setting up really good right there. TDOC. Yeah, that one's setting up. Keep your eye on that. 920 to 975. It closed at 955. And that one looks really good right there. I would say keep your eye on that. It wants to run up there. TDOC. And how about Plug? PLUG, good old plug power setting up right now. So keep an eye on this. We had watched this one before when it popped up, and it's getting set back up again. So here you go. And this is a really nice setup. So keep your eye on PLUG. That one's looking healthy right there. And PERI. Let's see what that one is up to. PERI, Perian Network. Oh, this one looks really good too, guys. Wow. There's three good ones in a row right there. I like that. 850 to 884, and it closed at 882, and it looks strong. Watch that one for some momentum there. PERI. Didn't we look at that like last week sometime? I kind of remember that one. And someone mentioned that recently, and it was down here. I remember had that look like it was bottoming out, so it was probably around 807 area, and now you're at the 882, and it wants to get rolling right there. PERI. So that one does look really good right there. ABEO. Let's look at that. ABEO, and that one's getting cruising. So somebody with some really good ones right here. ABEO, this one 537 to 6. It closed at 592 and just crossed through, has some momentum in that channel. That looks like it wants to continue up too. So there you go. Some good ones right there. Let's look at PBR. Let's keep going right here. And that looks really good. We're crushing them right now. These ones look great. PBR. Let's look at that. Oh, yeah, that one looking really good. An oil and gas one in Brazil. This thing's curling up. It ran today. Laptop Travel likes it, and I like it too. I'm not gonna lie. 1291 to 1325, and it's at 1323, and it looks pretty solid to continue its way up right there. So that's another one that looks real good. PBR. And how about that ERJ? Let's keep on cruising with some good ones here. I don't even know what this is called. Embraer. Something like that. This is aerospace and defense in Brazil, and this thing's getting wild, guys. So check this thing out. It was up $1. It says it was down in the after hours. I don't even believe it. Let's see, 36.74 to 37.91, and it was at 37.89 when it closed. Don't look like it's down the after hours to me. I don't know what FinViz is talking about because immediately it says it's down 65 cents. It says right here 36.71 to 37.92. Its lowest 36.67, and it closed at 37.89. And then in the after hours, in the aftermarket, it says it's down 65 cents to 37.24. And I don't know what it's talking about because it doesn't look like it's that low to me. And this thing looks really good too. So ERJ, another good one right there. So keep your eye on that. GRWG, these are some really good ones here. Grow generation. This one just crossed through. It was up 6 cents. It might not run like a maniac, but it looks like it could get cruising a little bit here, trying to jump up in this channel of 175 to 188, and it is getting moving. So keep your eye on that thing because that one's setting up. It bottomed out down here at that 149. It's jumped up the last 3 days, so you have to keep an eye on it. And like I said, it might not jump up like the 100%er, but you might get some a little movement out of this one, GRWG. So keep an eye on that one. And where else are we? That's Rich Tech Robotics. We've looked at this plenty of times. This one's pulling back. I actually saw this today, and it is pulling back there. So we'll keep an eye on that to pull back, bottom out, and then we'll get that again. CPHI. I know a couple of people are looking at this China Pharma Holdings, and it is looking good today. It was running up on New Year's Eve, and it was running up some today. So let's take a look at what it did. I forget. 23 to 25. It pulled back to 21, but it closed at 23 where it opened at. Has that weird look. And like I said, it did run up on New Year's Eve, so not looking bad right there. So we'll definitely have to take a look at it and see if it wants to try to get up to that top area. And that is at CPHI. And let's take a look at what is next here. CPHI and XPON 360. And this one we've looked at before. It started popping up before. Let's see what it's doing here. I think it ran up today. It did. 260 to 450. It's at 209. I don't know. I'd have to look at this tomorrow to make sure it wants to stay set up. I'm not so sure. So that one we can look at, but that one was a good runner today. And as you can see, any of these low ones, you basically have to trade them quick because they run up and then they come back down, and they can come right down under the price that you bought in at real fast. So, just make sure you're paying attention if you're messing with any of these small ones because they move fast. Even the big caps have been moving kind of fast. Like Apple today took a nice dip, so you had to be paying attention to that. So you have to really zero in again and get in the ones that are really going to pop. And I guess we've been kind of picking them ones out very easily. And so yeah, I'll run through the list when we're done because there's quite a few of them that are set up, and all you have to do is pick the one that you like and trade it smart. And that's the thing; they can all run 100%, but if you don't trade them smart, 100% is useless. So even if they run 20% and you trade it smart 20%, that's a great trade. That you knocked it out of the park. You don't have to hit 100%ers. As a matter of fact, they're hard to hit. We've had a little bit of a a little cycle right here where they've been popping like that, but you don't have to look for them all the time. Just hit the winners and get in and out and trade them smart, and you'll do perfectly fine. And plus, it fine tunes your trading skills, which makes you even better when these bigger opportunities come around. You get even better at it, and you build up your capital because singles and doubles win games, and you'll build up your accounts like that, and you don't have to hit home runs and grand slams to do it. So just trade smart, and you'll be perfectly fine. There's so many of them that you can do it with, and you don't have to get crazy. Sava, SAVA. This is one we were looking at, and I do think this is getting cruising. This is a great one. I'm glad someone mentioned it because I was looking at it today and I did not add it. And I think you're going to get cruising here. And it took that huge dip. Literally, it was at 31 something, and then it came down the next day into the fours. So it's at 276 right now, SAVA, and it does look like it wants to get moving. So keep your eye on Sava, SAVA. That's Cassava Sciences. I told you that story before. I had it way back when I noticed it ran to like 110, one something. I was telling some buddies at a party one night that I had just purchased it, and a couple people actually bought it right after that, and it took a little while. It was like 6-8 months later, but the thing ran literally from like right around this area in the twos, maybe $3 range, four, and it ran to like $125. So This thing, and it just dipped, like I said, from the $30 area, and it was in the 40s, and it was up there. So I know this thing could pop back up. This is a biotech company. I'm not exactly sure what they even do, but I just know it runs a lot and it can run crazy. So that's what I know. And the chart's setting up. So that's what I look for. SAVA, SAVA. And there you go with that one. CDIO, cardio diagnostics. And this one we hit this one perfectly all the way up to like that 170 something area. This one's just pulling back right here. I'm not sure if it's ready to get cruising off of that 20 yet. It looks like it still wants to pull back there. And that's CDIO and UOKA. This one was jumping around today. It was up 5 cents. I saw this crawling up and looking decent. I think that the guy Zach Morris was tweeting about this one. We had hit this one before, and somebody was all over it. I mean, we were in it before it started to change its name. As a matter of fact, we knew on December 3rd, that's when it changed its name. It ran up to like $1, and some people couldn't even trade it. So it was like MDJH or something before, and now it's UOKA. And I'll tell you what, it looks UOKA right now because it's in that channel. 20 and 50 are setting up right there, and it's looking pretty solid. I'll tell you that. So keep your eye on that bad boy, UOKA. It looks pretty good right there. So I would say keep an eye on that one. It looks solid. And here we go. What is next right here? That was UOKA looking good. LICN. That one had that big dip. I was thinking about this one earlier when we were talking about a different one. And but yeah, this one I was looking at today, it was just a little bit flat down there. It was actually up, but nothing crazy. That LICN and just still kind of flat setting up. I'm not sure if it's waiting for the 20 because that's at 40 something cents. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens with it, and we'll just I'll see if it wants to get really moving here. As a matter of fact, I didn't even realize I just scrolled down. It says Univest Securities LLC announces closing a 3.1 million registered direct offering for its client Lichen China Limited, and that was on New Year's Eve, so they were doing it on like the 30th. And they also had some more right before that because I remember scrolling down and looking at it. So let all these closings and these direct offerings and stuff close, and we'll catch it right after that because that's when it'll get set up and get running. It had that big dip, so we'll keep an eye on that LICN, and that'll be a good one to keep an eye on for next week. How about QTTB? Is that what that is? At Q32 Bio. And this one we've been looking at for a little while. It's in the basement. And that 20's up there a little bit. So it can't be waiting for that. So we'll keep an eye on this because it did cross through. It doesn't look bad. It's just been running kind of flat. So it's one of them ones that could just jump up out of nowhere. We've seen it happen in a lot, and we've seen it today with what? NITO right there. I mean, it was getting set up, but it did just kind of jumped up there. So they do it. And this one jumped up. Like I said, it was just kind of setting up and went boom, just went crazy. So that last one, that QTTB, that could possibly do the same thing. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it just wants to fly up. CLEU. And I'll look and see if it gives you that look that QTTB wants to pop there. CLEU, that China liberal education. This one was up at the top. I thought it was going to run up a little higher. It just immediately pulled right back down. So that's that clue, CLEU. And it is coming back down to the 50 at 336. It's at 352. So we'll keep an eye. I thought that was going to run up a little bit, but it decided not to. And let's look at that Nature's Miracle NMHI because this was looking really good. It was up a little bit today, and it does look pretty good right here. Let me take a better look. NMHI. Whoa. Let me be able to type it in here. NMHI, and yeah, it's right there. It just got up on that 20. I thought it looked good today. 223 to 234. It's at 232. So keep an eye on this Nature's Miracle. It's looking pretty decent right there, I would say. So keep an eye on that. We've hit that one before for a nice popper before. I know that was setting up. It was in a good spot, and now it's in another good spot. So keep your eye on Nature's Miracle Holding, NMHI. And let's look at NU. Good old new holdings. This one's curling up. It just got out of the basement, and this one looks good right here. So I would say definitely keep an eye on this. It went 1055 to 1068, and it closed at 1063. And anytime they're basically closing right under where their high is for the day, they're kind of keeping that momentum right now. It's not the case all the time, but it's kind of a pattern I picked up on for the last few weeks. They've been doing it. So NU looks like it's going to keep it. So you can kind of keep an eye out for that little pattern. Like I said, it doesn't hold true forever, but it's been a little thing that they've been doing right now, and you can see NU closed just under that high. It should run up tomorrow. There's been a few other ones tonight. If you go through and look at them, I didn't point it out for all of them, but there you go. I can start pointing it out, and you'll see it'll start running right there. RIME. Let's see this one. That rhyme. It was run up on New Year's Eve there, and let's see what it did today, because this one wasn't looking bad. I remember looking at it last night and saying it was setting up 9 to 10. It's at 9, but it does look really good. It's in that spot getting ready to rhyme right there. So keep an eye on that, because that's about to rhyme right up there. And RIME and Blue Hat, this BHAT, this ran up the other day. Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment, and it did pop up New Year's Eve, came back to the 20, and it does look good to try to run back up. Let me see what it's doing here. Yeah, it's in that channel still, and it could run up. Its high the other day was like 33 cents, 16 to 33. And so we'll see if it can get that high, but it does look like it wants to put its blue hat back on and get running. So keep an eye on that BHAT and ENVB. If I can type it in right, ENVB, there we go. Enveric Biosciences, this one popped up today right here. It was up a little bit, ENVB. And yeah, it ran 37 to 53. It's at 40 and not looking bad right there. It was right in that channel, popped up in there. So keep an eye on this one. It could have some momentum in the morning. So that's ENVB and SGMO. Let's see that one. SGMO. Sangamo Therapeutics. Oh yeah, this one took that nice dip the other day on New Year's Eve, didn't it? So let's look at this. SGMO, or right before December 30th it did. It went from 255 down to 78. It closed at 93. New Year's Eve it went 101 to 126 and closed at 101. And then today it went 109 to 119 and closed at 113. It doesn't really look like it's exactly ready. I mean, it's bouncing off that bottom, but it's not like it's ready to pop off. Maybe it tries to tomorrow pop up a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's ready to get crazy. But it obviously it can. It's right off that bottom. I would have thought today that it would have, but it does look like it's trying to run up there. So what's it at right now? 113 right now. So yeah, it does look, and the high was 114 right around there, 119. So keep an eye on it. It doesn't look bad. SGMO, I would say after that dip, it's in a pretty good spot right there to get moving. AEHL, let's see what that's doing, that Antelope Enterprises, and that's curling on up right here. And we were looking at it the other day. It's running up nicely, nice and slow, nothing crazy, but it's in that channel. But watch for this thing. This one could get popping right there. AEHL, so keep an eye on that one. That one looks good right there. And again, it's at what, 24 cents? And it has to get up over like 27, 28, and it'll really get cruising there. Thing will start hopping around like an antelope. So it look like the lion's chasing it. And thing will be jumping around all over the place. So there's AEHL and ORIS. We looked at this last night, and this one was run up this morning. I remember looking at it. What did it go to? 225 to 321, and it's at 217. So it closed lower than it ran up. But we had just looked at it last night, said to look at it for you early morning guys, and it was run up there. Oriental Rise Holdings, so that one did pop up. And we already looked at Chris, and we were looking at that one as well with that ORIS, and both of them popped up right there. And MNMD, we were looking at that Mind Medicine too, and that was up today because somebody sent in all three of them on one message, and all three of them were up today and looking good. And that MNMD, that Mind Medicine, is looking good. 754. It went from 712, 759, and it closed at 754. So there you go. It looks like it wants to continue to run up there. And there you go with MNMD. So keep an eye on that. Let's look at PALI and see what that's doing. Pally. Let's see what Pally's up to. Oh, this might be our Pally real soon right here, huh? PALI. And this like Palisade or something like that. Yeah, Palisade Bio. And oh yeah, it's getting into that channel looking good. 176 to 202. It's at 191 and it looks really good right there. So this could be your little Pally coming up right here. So keep an eye on that. It has that weird look too. So keep an eye on Pally. PALI. Looking good right there. And CHNR, what's that doing here? CHNR, not familiar with that. I don't think. China Natural Resources. I don't know if we look at this one, but let's look at it. CHNR. It ran up New Year's Eve. I could see that 71 to 80, and then today 69 to 72, and it closed at 69. It has that open and close at the same spot. It looks like it's just pulling back to try to set up, but we'll have to see which way it's trying to go tomorrow. So I can take a better look at CHNR. And like I said, I don't think that's popping off tonight or tomorrow. It's just sitting on top of that 50 and it almost looks like it wants to pull back into the channel. So we'll take a better look at it. I'll look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to do anything crazy there. And NVNI, let's see NVNI group. And this one was run up there. What day was that? December 20th. That thing went blasting. And it's been pulling back out of the top since, but it looks like it hit that MACD line and wants to give cruising back up. NVNI. So it looks like it just crossed through a little bit, ever so slightly. One of them ones that it can pull itself right back up and get bouncing. So we'll see if that was its bottom today at 229, because on it got to 238 on New Year's Eve, so we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, NVNI, and see if it's just going to bounce off of that line right there. And let's take a look at what is it? ADAI. Let's see, ADAI. There was a couple other ones right here. And then I'll go through laptop travels list and our messages real quick. So yeah, there was a couple other ones I added real fast. And ADAI, let's see this one real quick. It looks like it was just kind of pulling back there. ADAI. It's hitting that line. This is another one that just kind of hold on. This one doesn't even crawl. I'm still looking at the other one. I was gonna say it looks exactly like that other one. Hold on. What did I write down here? IDAI. Let me put the right thing in and tell you guys the right thing here. It's IDAI, so I wasn't even close. It's IDAI. It's called T-stamp here, and 119 and 122. It came way down to 49. It closed at 68, and that one might have to pull back, I think, to get reset up right there. So it did have a nice dip, and that is IDAI. So we'll see. It was in the top. And QNTM, do we look at that? Quantum Biopharma? No, I don't think so. That was up today, and that looks like it's getting to be in a good spot. QNTM. That's it. QNTM, and yeah, that's getting in to be a good spot right there in that channel, and looks pretty solid to try to get moving there. So keep an eye on QNTM. That one's looking good right there. I like that. And there you go. And I'll take some messages and we'll run through laptop travels list. We can usually run through that really fast because they're generally set up and looking great. So let me see what you guys want to look at real quick. CLRB, let's take a couple of these real quick. That's Lewis G right there. CLRB, let's see what that's up to. Collector Biosciences, and that's looking good, trying to get out of the basement right there. CLRB, let's see. Yeah, I like it. 29 to 33. It closed at that 32 right there, and looking solid. It has resistance up here at like 50, so that looks nice. Lewis G, I like that. CLRB. Looking good there. And let's see. If you see this, try to hit CGBS again. Somebody missed it. Stock Dude or CGBS. Let's look at it. That's that crown one, right? CGBS. Yeah, that one ran up. It's in the top. Honestly, I would look at it as a momentum play in the morning. Let me see in the after hours. Yeah, if anything, it ran what 40 to 125. It closed at 74. It looks like it wants to run up some more in the morning. So if you're on the Webull or Web Bull, take a look at it because it could very well run up in the morning. It's gotten to the top and it has that look where they've been running up there. But make sure you're going to be locking in profits because that was a nice run the last few days. New Year's Eve and today on that one. So let's see what else is going on. STSS, let's see what that's doing. Early retirement. I like that right there. Let's see. Early retirement. That was up 5 cents, and that one's getting to be in a good spot right here. STSS Sharps Technology, it's called. And I'd say that's looking good. It has some resistance up here at 260. It's at 222, and it is looking pretty good right there. So I would say that looks solid right there. And what else? PTPI. We've looked at this one. That's at Petros Pharmaceutical, and this one's been running up there the last for a little while. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 trading days there, and getting to be in a channel. Has some good resistance at 49 cents. It's at 46. It's been running. It might hit that top and come back down and get reset up in that channel. So just be careful with that one. But that one has run, and that bottom was down there at 25 cents, and you're at 42. So that's a nice run right there. Closer to 43 cents actually for Petros Pharmaceuticals, PTPI. And we were looking at that recently, not long ago as well. And yeah, that one got cruising. But like I said, it's going to be hitting some resistance right there. If it can get into the top, you'll be safe for a nice little pop. But it's already run pretty good. So that's PTPI right there. And that's for early retirement. D, let's see. AVXL, let's see what that's doing. AVXL and Anavex Life Sciences. I know we've looked at this. It was up in the top, and it looks like New Year's Eve. It tried to bottom back out there at 1040, and you're back in the 12s already. AVXL. So yeah, this looks pretty solid to try to continue its way up. Its high was back there at 1444. Today was 1246, and it could get back up over that 14. It's trying to push up there. So look at that 1320 area when it gets there to hit the resistance. If it gets into the top, it's going to fly. So that is AVXL. And that OPTT is that Ocean Power Technologies. And this one ran up on New Year's Eve as well. It's still in the top, but let me see what it did here in the after hours. I'd be careful with this one, to be honest. It's been in the top and kind of pulling back there. Even if it runs up, there's better opportunities, I feel. But yeah, that one did run up, and we were early for that one too. So that one popped up pretty good right there. And like I said, there's a lot of resistance right there, especially around that 112 area. So just be careful with that one. If it's really moving, and you like it, then quick momentum play for that. OPTT and BNRG. Let's see what that is. Is that BNRG? Is that Bren Miller? Yeah, it is. I don't know how I remembered that, but it was. And wow, this thing, we were watching this thing way down here when it was like in 69 cent land. It's at 162. Remember I was saying this thing wanted to get moving? It went moving on New Year's Eve, $1 to 245, and today it went 140 to 180, and this was definitely on the laptop travel lowdown list. It went from down close to the bottom to right to the top right there. So there you go with BNRG, just another one. I mean, so many great opportunities we've given out. It's crazy. This one's in the top, so be careful. But we were super early on that one right there. And that was for D right there. And TVGN, let's look at that one. Stonky Stonks, 8520 right here. TVGN, Tevogen Bio Holdings. And this one's getting in a good spot to curl up. I like that. TVGN, let's see. Yeah, I like that one. That one's looking good. Add that to the list because that's looking pretty solid right there. Stonky stonks, looking good. That CRKN, let's look and see what that did today. We were looking at that Crown Electro Kinetics for a little while. It's been staying in the basement. It ran up the other day on New Year's Eve, and today it looks like it kind of just stayed down. 15 to 16, down to 13, closed at 14. And honestly, it's has some pullback, needs to get back up over that like 19 cent area. It was up there on New Year's Eve. Like I said, it opened at 21, got up to 24. It was looking great, and then I don't know what happened to it. So it kind of just pulled back, and I'm not sure what it say. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but maybe it's a little pullback before it wants to rip because again, it never even got out of the basement there, so it should try to get out of the basement. It was trying to and then pull back a little bit. So you may see it just pull back and then get ripping again. So we will keep an eye on that CRKN and CEG. And that was constant Doge right there with that one. Constellation Energy, Luis Rodriguez. Let's see what this one's up to. CEG. It was cruising today, and it was looking pretty good there. Constellation Energy. As a matter of fact, I did see this one, the energy sector. A lot of them were moving, 230 to 244, and it was cruising right there. And as a matter of fact, I can give you a couple other energy ones real quick. I gave them out on the Stock Talks show today. They were talking about energy, so I just kind of went through real quick and found a couple decent ones and threw them out there. So I'll throw them out here as well. But yeah, CEG looking good for some momentum to continue. And I'll let me find where I put them bad boys. I know I wrote it right here. Here we go. You ready? What is it? Let me see what this one was. BPT. This was at BP Prudhoe Bay Royalty Trust, but I didn't give this out because it was a cheap one. But it's rolling out of the bottom, out of the basement right there, and looking really good. So keep your eye on this one. BPT. It is trying to set up right here, so keep your eye on that one. And then CNX. This one's looking good. CNX Resources. It was up 65 cents. It's curling up right there, looking decent to try to curl through and get moving. So keep your eye on that, excuse me. And DT Midstream, this one's really setting up. Luis Rodriguez, you guys would like this one. DTM looking real good right there, so keep an eye on that. That's at 101.75. It went 129 129 cents to 102.28 today, and it closed at 101.75. So DTM looking good right there. And MPLX, let's see what that bad boy is doing. That's MPLX LP, and that was up today, and that's curling up real good. So there's a couple good ones right there. Just threw them out there, and no, yeah, that one's looking real good. MPLX. So there you go. Mark them bad boys down because that's looking good. And how about this NC? Let's see what that was doing. This one was trying to keep its momentum right there. So that one has to keep some momentum going, and it'll keep rocking and rolling. If it can get back up over 30.43, it's at 30.20. It should pop off. So that's another one right there. And that's some thermal coal, and there are energy companies. And like I said, they are looking good right there. And so there was a couple energy ones. And let's get back to Luis Rodriguez, because which one did you say? CEG was an energy one, wasn't it? It had to have been. Constellation Energy Corp. There you go. So yeah, it definitely was and looking good. So there you go with that. LEU. That's another energy one. Centrus Energy. And this one's curled up looking good. Has that resistance right there at 75.33. And but it should try to get rocking and rolling. If it doesn't get through it tomorrow, it's going to hit it and just set up. So that's LEU looking good right there. And that OKLO, we looked at this one before. That's I think it's like a nuclear one possibly. I don't remember. Yeah, I think nuclear power. And this one had run up there, and it looks like it's trying to curl right off that MACD to get moving again. So keep an eye on that OKLO. It's looking like it's in a good spot trying to roll off the MACD. And VST, let's look at VST, Vistra Corp. And this one also looks like it's an independent power producer. And this one just got rolling off that line right there and wants to keep going with some momentum. So keep an eye on that 139.93 to 150 and close that 150.40. So, that's going to get cruising some more. And that's VST. Very good right there, Luis Rodriguez. And energy ones are moving right now. And so there you go with that. And let's see what else we have here. No problem. Stock Duder 100. And let's see, we got all them bad boys. We got that CEG. I'll post that back out. Luis Rodriguez posted some news about CEG. TNON, I know that's on our list for tonight, on our laptop list, Peninsula Life, but let's look at it. You want to see it. This is that one that ran from like $4 to like 120 something or whatever it was. It was insane. And let's see what it's doing. It is looking good. It came out of the basement. I know you mentioned it the other day as well, and it was on the laptop travel list. Today it went 180 to 238, and it does look good. It has that resistance at 266, but looks solid right there. I like it. TNON looks like it's still heating up. I peeled some profits already today and sitting at 13% up on the rest, just waiting for it to pop. Hope tomorrow is the day, Peninsula Life. And like I said, just watch it. It looks like it's going to run up to that 265. And honestly, in the morning, the Weeble, it's probably going to run up fastest. When it runs, you know what's going to happen. It's going to pop up early and then be sizzling back down. So, there you go with that one. Good look on there. PBLA, let's see what that one's doing real quick. That ran up today. I did not see that one. PBLA, let's see. PBLA. Oh, it doesn't even come up there, did it? No, it came up on mine. I know it's definitely a stock. Panbella Therapeutics. Maybe it is an OTC now. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it is an OTC. It says I didn't even notice it wasn't before, but I guess they didn't make compliance at some point recently. Who knows? But anyway, who cares? It went 45 to 45. What is going? Oh, it's way up here. Where'd it close at? It closed at 38 and then it jumped up to like 45 cents and it's just sitting there. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I never understand when they do that because it says like 0% that it moved today. So I'm not exactly sure with that one. I can try to look into it tomorrow. It is an OTC, or it used to not be one. But there you go. We'll try to take a better look at that one for you. Bullish Bubba there. Um, Jonah. There you go. I almost called you Jonathan, but Jonah SMX. Let's look at that one. I didn't even have it on the list tonight, and it was just kind of pulling back. I think it's just pulling back to set back up. That 20 and 50 are going to meet and pop back off. It did run up to that 93 cents the other day. It's at 52, but it should get set back up right there. TRNR Interactive Strength. This one had popped up the other day too, and it is just trying to set up TRNR. Let's see. It is getting set up right here. It's about to pop up in the right spot at 293 right there. It went 283 to 298, and it's at 293. It's definitely looking good. That one we were looking at before. It ran up, I remember, a little bit and then kind of pulled back. That bottom was right here. 273 is where it bottomed out, and we're at 294 area, 293. So that is looking better. TRNR. ALLR, this one was a good one. This one was trying to set up last week. Let's see. It ran up the other day. It pulled back 2 days. So it ran up on New Year's Eve, pulled back a little bit today, ALLR. And yeah, it ran up really nice. 112 to 174 there on New Year's Eve. Today, 106 to 125, and then it closed at 110. So it's not even looking that bad. It's in that channel. So ALLR not looking bad right there. Jonah. So there you go with that. GCT, let's look at that. Is that a gold one, right? GCT? No, that's not. It's called GigaCloud. Oh, they were talking about this today, as a matter of fact. GCT, let's look at it. I was wrong. GCT, this one did bottom out down here on the 30th at that 1680. You're at 1910, and GCT is looking pretty decent, I must say. Luis Rodriguez again on point. That resistance is right there at 2002, so I'd say $20. And Uber, I talked about this one in the beginning. We were all over this bad boy. I knew this was popping up. I was telling you guys, had that crazy look for the last few trading days, and boom, that was up over $3 today. So that was Uber, and that CEG, we did the Constellation, so that was looking good. That UOKA bill, that one we went over, and it did have some good volume, and it was definitely moving, looking good. So that was looking good there. Um, Parabolic Profit, great job. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out and sending in stuff, all the stock tickers and comments and everything. It's so much fun. We have a great time. We're going to crush this market in 2025. Like I said, you just have to read it the right way and trade it smart and just not get over your head. Don't try to play a bunch of them. Just stick to it real simple. If you were listening to the show earlier, that stock chart show, they were all talking about all the indicators and stuff. You guys know I do it and post them. You guys can see I look at it really quick, 3 seconds. Takes me longer to type it in and talk about it clearly than it does for me to look at them. I told you I used to be able to. I can scan thousands of charts, but it takes a little longer to type them in like this and discuss them. But I like it. I read the name of the companies. I never looked at the name of the companies before. I had no idea. I didn't even really look at the sectors, to be honest with you. I just knew different sectors and knew some of them were in certain ones, but definitely becoming more knowledgeable with the different stocks and the tickers just from doing it every day. And it is a lot of fun just seeing what's going to be popping. And again, you can kind of just cruise around the different sectors as they get set up and just crush them. So you're going to see a lot. Like I say, you're going to see this thing pull back a little bit. You're going to have the administrations are about to change hands in a few weeks. And then the thing's going to pump up and get crazy. Crypto's about to get wild again. The market will be getting crazy, and then we are going to see that downturn. So we just got to be prepared and read the market right. And when it gets up at the top, you can't get greedy. You got to lock in those profits and sit on your cash and just wait for it. And then that's when you crush it even more, or you even put it down. So you get your puts and come back down on it. So yeah, you just play the market exactly the way it wants you to play it. And again, you don't get too crazy with it, and you just stick to your plan and just nail it. Trade them smart. That's all you need to do. Pick one or two and trade it smart, lock in your profits and move to the next one, and you'll build up them accounts. So that's what you want to look at, and that's what we're going to do this year. So I look forward to it. Trust me. So thank you, everybody that hangs out and all the feedback and everything. BLMZ, let's look at Blooms real quick. This one had run up last week, or maybe this. I keep the days off now, and between Christmas and New Year's and the different days off, I keep saying this week, next. I don't even remember. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, and then next week we have Thursday off because of the day off that they gave for Jimmy Carter's funeral or death, or in honor of whatever they're doing. So they'll have that as a national holiday as well. So that's next Thursday. So yeah, just constantly getting thrown off, but it's all good. BLMZ, this one is just touching that 20. It could pull back a little bit more. I'll look at it tomorrow. Looks like it wants to bounce up. Looks like it could pull back. It's just kind of teetering right there. So I'd have to look at that one. Chart 27 there. So I'll take a better look at that for you tomorrow. Just remind me, BLMZ. We're familiar with that one right there. And Hims, let's look at Hims and hers. I know Hims was up today. I saw that up $1, and it's way down there. So this one could be getting set up. Let's see. It is trying to set up, and that bottom, oh, the bottom was back here at 2291. I think at New Year's Eve when it came down to that 2412 could be the bottom, but don't get me wrong, it could stair step down a little bit more towards that 22 area, like I said, that 2291. So just keep an eye on him, see if it wants to pull back a little bit more, and then you can ride that up. And ASTS. AST Space Mobile. Let's see, this one just pulled back right there. Just making that base down there right now at the moment, ASTS. So yeah, just it's getting ready to. That bottom's 2081, 2081, and today's bottom was 2090, so it's at 2175. So look for them bottoms right there, and it is getting set up, making a base down there. So that's ASTS. And there you go. Get the ROI. That's what I'm talking about. AMDL. Let's see. AMDL. Well, that's the AMD ETF right there. And it was down a little bit, 780 to 795. Came down to like 748. It closed at 769. It's still looking good, actually. AMDL and AMD. They both kind of look decent. And we'll go through that. But AMDL, real quick. It should be trying to bottom out there. I didn't even think it was going to pull back that much, to be honest with you. So let me look at AMD just while we're talking about it and see. Yeah, AMD's hitting that line down there. I think it's kind of bottoming out, and they're going to try to get cruising. They look like it. So just a little extra pullback, and I think they're going to get moving. AMD and obviously the ETF, AMDL. So there you go with that. No Norbert right there. And here we go. Let's see what else we have here. I think we got everything else. Let's go through our laptop list and see what's happening there, because there's going to be a bunch of great ones on there. And then I'll check out the messages. We'll go through our big caps and our SPY and everybody else, and of course our crypto. I figured out the charts. I hit the button and had the chart set the year to date. It was just like showing me, because it just changed the year. It was showing me one day. That's why I kept saying, why is it only showing me this year? I didn't realize I had it. I must have, or I had it set the year to date, and it didn't matter because it was. I was looking at 6 months plus, but then as the new year came in, it changed the whole chart and gave me one day to look at, and I had no idea what was going on. But that's all fixed, so we can use that again, or I can do them on a computer. It don't matter. But it's faster if I just look at the app for crypto. And there you go. So we'll do that as well. So let's get cruising and look at our laptop list, because you know these are going to be set up, and you're going to have a ton of 100% runners real soon in this list right here. BOLD. Let's see if this is going to get bold. BOLD. Let's see. It's in that channel. It ran up today, 288 to 312. And it's at what, it's at 273 right now. And like I said, it's in that channel, not looking bad. I could get bold right there. And if it doesn't right now, the 20 squeezing it up, I would assume in the next few days, trading days, next week or so, it'll get moving there. BOLD, CELZ, Creative Medical Technology Holdings. And this one, interesting. What is it doing? It looks like it was like really flat today. Let me see. 230 to 250. Its low is 229, and that's where it closed. So it kind of closed and opened at the same spot. Went up a little bit, never really went down. So yeah, it's just sitting on the 20. Just that's why it's got that flat look though. But yeah, not looking bad at all for that CELZ. Take a look at that. And again, tomorrow being Friday, after these long off weeks and stuff, some of these might not just get crazy. As long as they keep that set up and we keep a good pattern going, we should be really good. And then again, we have a day off Thursday next week, which just kind of was thrown in there, but it's fine. We can deal with that. Not the end of the world. And then we can get back to try to cruise. I don't know when Martin Luther King Day is or the next holiday is. I didn't even look. So we'll have to look. We may have days off like almost every week. It's kind of crazy. And, you know, it just kind of throws things off, but you just got to cruise through, battle through, and pick the ones that are the best ones, like in the video right now. But we'll go through them as well. But here we go, CELZ. Like I said, just kind of setting up this flat right there, not looking bad. CLGN, Coal Plant Biotech. Biotechnologies Ltd. This one's setting up. I'd keep an eye on this for tomorrow. That one looks pretty good. If it didn't already run in the after hours, let me see. CLGN 371 to 386, and it's at 381. This thing's going to get cruising tomorrow, guys. So there's one. CLGN. Keep an eye on that. How about Dare? Remember that's a program back in the day. Good old Dare. Let's dare to see what this is doing. It's curling up right here, DARE. So let's look at it. It is curling up. It's looking really good. 310 to 330. It's at 322. And this Dare Biosciences, I wonder what they're all about. But anyway, Dare, that's gonna dare to go a little higher because it is has some good support to 50 or resistance at 349, and then the hard ones at 360. But it should run right up there. DARE, so that one's getting set up as well. And AXIL brands is about to get cruising as well. So I'd take a look at this tomorrow because that's about to cross through. It's got to get through this 20 right here at 402. It's at $4. It got to $4 was a tie. So keep an eye on that. If it doesn't, it's going to bounce down and set back up and get cruising there. I think it might get through it though. DFLI, and I guess market conditions will obviously be a factor there. DFLI, Dragonfly Energy Holdings. This one's about to get flying like a dragonfly here. Holy cow, this one looks good. You might want to keep an eye on this bad boy because that one looks real good. And that's DFLI and DTSS. DTSS. This one's in that channel. I know we were looking at it the other day. DTSS, Data. And that one is just like I said in that channel, just trying to curl around 234, got down to 218, closed at 228. So it's just bouncing around right there and it will get set up. So keep an eye on that one as well. DTSS and EDSA. Let's see what that's doing. Edison Biotech or something. That's curling up and looking real good. EDSA. Looking really good right there. So I would say they might have a runner right there tomorrow as well. FENG, let's see, FENG. This one was looking good. I actually saw this today, FENG. It was moving around the other day and setting up today. Has that weird look like it's ready to run. It's trying to curl through. It does look good. So we'll keep an eye on that. FENG, it's called Phoenix New Media Limited. And it is looking solid right there. So I'll keep an eye on that one. FENG and FLUX. Let's see, Flux Power Holdings up 16 cents. This is should be a momentum play right here for tomorrow, guys. Keep your eye on that. Flux, FLUX. Gonna be burning some flux tomorrow right there. GMGI, let's go. Let's see this. That's curling up, hitting that 20, getting ready to move. So let's see, GI. Let's see, Golden Matrix Group. Oh, this is about to get in the Matrix. Holy cow. I might have to look at this one. GMGI. That one's really nice, guys. It's at 205 right there, and it looks good. It's about to get into the Matrix. Like I said, it's about to be a Golden Matrix. Electronic, gaming, and multimedia. Looking nice right there. GTIM. Good Times Restaurants. We were looking at this not long ago saying that their restaurant was about to become a good time. And let's see, it says GTIM basically, GTIM, and it is 252 to 258, and that's where it closed. And the other day on New Year's Eve, it went to 259. It's sitting on that 20 support resistance line. It's going to break it and get cruising, guys. So take a look at Good Times Restaurants because that's about to have some good times. And HUDI is something I can't even say, so I'm not even going to try. It's a steel company in China. I'll tell you one thing, it's curling up right there. We'll call it Hootie. And Hootie looks at 174 to 193, and it closed at 180. It's in that channel, and Hootie looks like it wants to go. So keep an eye on this one. HUDI looking decent right there as well. INMB, let's look at INMB. Immune Bio. Oh, this one's looking good too, getting up over that line and looking nice right there. INMB. Oh, yeah, in that channel, getting cruising. 484 to 519. It's at 510 and wants to get cruising there. INMB. I mean, this is a solid list right here. Laptop Travel. LITB. Here we go. Lighten in the box holding. This is like all that one word, lighten in the box. Let's see, because we were looking at this. It had that weird look the other day. It was running around today, and this one's going to get cruising, guys. LITB. So keep an eye on that. 177 to 182. Came down to 155, but closed at 178. And I'm telling you, this thing wants to get lightning in the box for sure. So keep an eye on LITB because that one wants to run. I'm telling you, a ton of them that are just set up right here looking great. So let's say ME, me. Yeah, 23 and me. Let's see what they're up to. That one's curling up. Good old me. Looking good. 328 to 358, and it's at 355. And me is looking good. 23 and me looking solid right there. MTVA. Let's look at MTVA. That's Metavia. Oh yeah, we were looking at this, and this one's running back up. It was up 7, 8 cents today at least. Let's see, 219 to 220, down to 202. It was. It says it was on here. What does it say? 203 to 219, and it closed at 211, and in the after hours 203. That's FinViz 219 to 220, kind of similar. And but it is in that channel right there and doesn't look bad, MTVA, so I'd keep an eye on it. It looks like it's going to try to run. It's hitting that resistance right here at 216. It'll get through that. MTVA and PALI, we looked at that Pally. That's looking good to be your Pally right there. And PMCB, that's Pharmasite Biotech, and that was running around today. PMCB. It's 157 and 175, and it's at 164 in that channel, looking good. That should continue to try to run back up. PMCB right there. Let's see, QLGN, that's Qualigen Therapeutics right here. And this is just kind of flat, but not looking bad right there. QLGN in that channel. It was in there before and kind of fell out of there, but it doesn't look real bad. That channel is consisting of 421 to 472. It went 452 to 455 down to 418, and it's at 427. So it's right in that channel right there. It'll probably bounce around a little bit, and then we'll see if it wants to roll. QNTM, or no, that's QLGN, and QNTM is now Quantum Biopharma, and I think we were looking at this. It wants to get cruising. QNTM, and yeah, that one looks really good. 380 to 409. It's at 398 and looking solid right there. QNTM. We might have looked at that earlier. SGRP as that SPAR group, and this thing is just sitting right there. A little pullback today. SGRP. 195 to 198, and it closed at 197. I wouldn't say there's much pullback right there like FinViz is showing. It looks pretty good right here, so I'd have to say it looks solid. SGRP, it looks like it wants to continue to go up there. TACT, let's see. Transact Technologies. Oh, that one's setting up really good. It's just a little flat today, but this is going to be a good one right here in the channel. 408 to 420. It took a smoke break and then came back down to 407, and it closed at 412. So it's at 412 TACT, and it's looking pretty good right there. So I would say that's looking solid. TAIT, Tatron Components or somebody, that was up 5 cents, curling up, looking good. TAIT, yeah, that's looking solid, guys. So that should continue to move. TNON, we looked at that one. Peninsula Life liked it. Laptop Travel likes it. I like it. That's looking pretty good. VLCN, let's take a look at that one. VLCN, Volcon. We looked at this before, and it's just kind of pulling back. Not crazy. It's right on that 20, looking good, but just had a little pullback look right there. 446 to 450. It came back to 411. It's at 423. And again, just sitting right there on the 20, not looking bad at all. So that is VLCN. And let's take a look at XIN. That's a real estate company in China that's about to get cruising right there. XIN. I wouldn't even know how to say that thing, but 263 to 281. It's at 277 and looking solid right there. So keep your eye on XIN. And let's look at ZEPP, Zep Health Corporation. And this one was up today, looking good and should continue its way up. ZEPP. And it went 260 to 294, and it's at 288 right now. And it's just kind of crossing through. Have to see if it does cross through that MACD. It's going to could bounce back down and set up. Who knows? But it's an interesting one for sure. So keep your eye on that ZEPP, and that's Zep Health Corporation, and that's your laptop travel list. And I mean, just so many of them set up right there. They were beauties. So there you go with them bad boys. Let me go ahead, look at our crypto, look at our SPY and our big caps, and then see what's going on the scanners and what you guys want to look at. So here we go. Let's look at our crypto real quick. Bitcoin's back to 96,812, which is beautiful. And let's see, it looks really good. It's curling up and it's going to get back up onto that 10 and get cruising there. Actually, it's the SMA 50 and 200. They changed them around too. Remember, they were the 10 and 30. So now we have the 50 and 200 running, and before it was a 10 and 30, it was a 20 and something else. So they just keep on changing them. Anyway, it didn't look like a 10 and a 30 to me. That's why I just went and looked. And yeah, they're back to 50 and 200. So it is getting back up on that 50 SMA and looking better. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a 20 to 50 or whatever. It's just how the chart sets it up. And we go from there. But yeah, Bitcoin looking solid right there at 96,000. 859. Ethereum's at 3,457. Let's see what it looks like here. That's curling back up to the 50 right there. So that's looking much better. That 200's way under it. So it's looking good. Ripple's back to 244. And yeah, that's looking real good. That 30, I'm telling you, all the charts basically changed around. Yeah, 5,200. It was the 10 and the 30 were just set up. Just it could have been earlier yesterday. I know it didn't change that drastically. It looks way different. I can tell you that, and they look way better now. So I'm not sure exactly when it changed around, but these charts again, I was looking at the different charts because I had it on the year to date, so I'm not exactly sure if it changed yesterday or the day. It just recently changed in the last, obviously, from January 1st to like today. You can see it clearly. They changed around there. So Solana's back at 206, looking real good in that channel right there, trying to run up. And actually, the 50's like up over, trying to curl down, but still, it's curled up through the MACD. Should try to run up. It just has to get through that 50 again, and it'll get good. And again, that was completely set up a different way. So these setups all changed, and I think it's way for the better. They look like they're going to get that second run going. So Cardano's at what? ADA's at 99 cents. And yeah, it's touching that 50 right now. I'm going to get blasting off of there. So that's looking good. Doge is back to 34. And let's see what it's doing. And yeah, that one, that 50's up over it like Solana coming down, but it's built that nice base. I think it'll come cross through, get right through it, and get rolling again. So that's Doge. That's what they look like to me. Chainlink's at 22. Sheeb is up a little bit. Let's see if it's looking solid right here. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Again, the same look as Doge and Sol. So that's what that looks like. Sheeb. And let's look at Bonk real quick and see. BONK. Let's take a look at it because that one was already trying to set up. And again, I can tell that the charts are different. And this one curled through, and it looks like it wants to get cruising, guys. So we'll have to look at it again. That 50's way over it and coming down, but it's built such a nice base that it should get cruising. So we'll have to keep an eye on Bonk and WIF. Let's look at that one real quick. That's at 198. It was just in the twos the other day. And it's not looking bad. It's crossed through, just kind of stair-stepping its way up. So there you go with your crypto right there. So yeah, WIF not looking too bad. And crypto looking pretty good. Like I said, them charts definitely changed around. So I'm not exactly sure. I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on with the app. I didn't realize I hit, like I said, I was on the year to date probably could have been on there for a while. I didn't notice because it was the end of the year, so it didn't make a difference before. But as soon as it changed, I looked at it and was like, something's not right here. And it took me till today to figure that out, which was no big deal. But again, I don't know when the charts actually changed because I was looking at them on my charts and they're slightly a little bit different. And I just couldn't really tell that. So that's why I do like to try to look at the same continuous charts and I check out the app. I do look at mine as well a lot with crypto, but it's just to confirm things, obviously. So. And there you go with crypto looking good. Let's look at our big caps and our SPY, and then I'll take a look and see what you guys want to see. The SPY was down $1.44, but it was trying to rebound. It was way down today. And it's sitting right here on that line. I'll tell you that. It went from 588 and it went up. It was up early, 592, and then it came down to 580. So it took a nice dip and it closed at 585. So it did jump around a lot. I'll tell you that. They were green when we opened up at 7 a.m. and it has that look where it's just sitting on that support line. It does look like it wants to bounce up tomorrow and maybe end the week green. But at the same time, it looks like it wants to stair step down. I'm not saying it's getting down to 570, but it looks like it could pull back a little bit more. So interesting look with the SPY, and I'm interested to see what it opens up like tomorrow. And again, it can open up and then change around completely because it's been doing that a lot. But let's go ahead and look at our big caps because Apple got slaughtered today. And again, they had some bad news. They had to pay out a lawsuit. What was it, like $95 million they had to pay out for like some recordings tied to Siri, and then they're giving out iPhone discounts in China because of the competition over there. So Apple did get slaughtered a little bit there and did pull back quite a bit, like over $6. And we'll see when it bottoms out down here, probably at 240 and bounces back up. It should get rolling again. But that is AAPL and Amazon AMZN. That's up 83 cents. And again, it just kind of looks like it was pulling back a little bit. Nothing crazy, more flat than anything, but doesn't really look like it wants to pop yet. So we'll see if it's just going to stair step one way or the other and try to get set up. Google was up a little bit. And again, another one just crossed through down there. And we'll have to see if it wants to kind of stay on this 20 or if it wants to try to bounce off of it. So all of them have this odd look, like you can't really tell exactly what they want to do. Meta looks like it wants to fly though, guys. It was up $13 today. And like I keep telling you, is I don't know what Zuck has going on, but this dude has something going on. Resistance is at 608 and this thing could get flying there. So Meta's looking pretty decent, to be honest with you, but obviously look for some pullback because it was up $13 today. And let's look at good old Microsoft because that did pull back right to where we said to, right? 418 area, 416. Its low is what, 414. So it came even lower than I thought, but it did get down there and it's going to be touching that bottom down here and should try to get popping back off. So we'll keep an eye on Microsoft to see when it's ready to get moving again. And it did pull back just like we thought. Good old NVIDIA is looking solid, guys. So keep your eye on NVIDIA. It wants to get cruising there. So NVIDIA is probably your best bet out of your Mag 7 at the moment. Looks the best to me. And good old Tesla, that was pulled back like 24 hours. See if it's going to come back to that 350 area. It very well could. So keep an eye on Tesla. They missed something. What did they miss today? I forget what the heck they did. The delivery, they missed their delivery target or something for the year, something like that. I don't really remember what the heck it was. But anyway, they missed something, and then it definitely threw that one down quite a bit. So we'll see what Tesla does tomorrow and how it wants to react. And let's see what the rest of these bad boys are doing. AMC right here was up a little bit, and I'm telling you, this thing wants to get cruising. Something's going on with AMC. That bottom is clearly at 387. You can clearly see it. We're at 403, and we're about to get cruising, guys. So I know Roaring Kitty started posting stuff. AMC's looking great. GameStop, that was down a little bit today, but it was looking pretty good. It's hitting that support or hitting the MACD line, I mean, and we'll have to see if it wants to pull back there. And if it does, it could even come back down to that 29 area and still get set up. So it went 32.30 and it came down to 37, and that's where it closed at 30.72. And again, it could pull back a little bit, but GameStop should try to get bounced up. And Chewy, CHWY, I told you this one's getting set up, and it was up a little bit today, and it looks like it wants to get curled up off that MACD and just get popping again. So that's Chewy. It is looking really good. CHWY 33.90 to 34.88, and it closed at 34.88. So it's looking good, and it's set up. So AMC and Chewy probably look the best, then GameStop. But yeah, all three of them should get cruising, I would assume, and they're looking good. Netflix, let's look at it. It was down some more, and like I said, the thing could come down to like 850. So keep your eye on that. It was just over 900 not long ago, and that's Netflix. AVGO, this one was down and kind of popped up. I think it's hitting the MACD right there. So we have to see if it's going to roll off of there. It very well possibly can. It almost looks like it wants to right now. I was waiting to see what it looked like at the end, and it does kind of look like it could. MU is looking good, back up $3. Started popping back up at the after hour, like in the end of the day there, and looking much better there for MU. So keep your eye on Micron Technology. That's setting up here and looking much better. TSM, let's see, that was up $4 and looking much better today. So that's trying to bounce back off. So the semiconductors, like we said, they're looking good. They had that little bit of pullback, but it wasn't anything bad. SMCI is just kind of pulling back a little bit, so it's not ready yet. Not the healthiest looking one. AMD, we talked about it earlier, and I think it is hitting that bottom right there. It's over the MACD and looking pretty good for AMD. So keep an eye on that. I think it's going to try to get cruising right there. And PayPal, that was up a little bit today. Yeah, it was up a little bit, but it still looks like it could pull back a little bit. It's just kind of bouncing around right now. It's in that channel, which is 85.46 and up to like $88. Today it went 85.59 to 86.93. It's at 86.48. So PayPal just right there. And again, it is setting up to be pretty bullish. Long term, it looks like. So that's PYPL and Snow. Remember, we said the Snow was coming down. I think Snow bottomed out, and Snow could be getting set back up at this 157 area. So we'll watch for this to Snow to try to do something here. It was up today, 155 to 160, and it closed at 158. So we'll keep an eye on that Snow right there. That's good old Snowflake. And we ran that way up there, so that was a nice popper. And we'll do it again with all of them. So SNOW, Qualcomm, QCOM actually closed up a little bit, but this one's trying to get set up right here. I'm not sure why it's not running yet, but it looks like it wants to roll off that MACD. So maybe they start trying to pop up tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on that. And Intel looks really good. INTC, this one's getting set up, guys. So keep an eye on Intel because the INTC is looking good right there. And there's your semiconductors for the most part. And like I said, they are getting set up. Disney, DIS, this was down a little bit, but it is getting set up. Just keep it, it's in the channel. It's going to take a little while because it had run up there, but that will get set up right there. Oxy, this was up some more today, and a lot of these energy ones were up. So OXY up, we were liking this down at the bottom. Same with Exxon Mobil. This was down a little bit, but still looks pretty good. It's curled through. I think it was just some healthy pullback there for Exxon Mobil. Nothing crazy. And good old Mara and Riot, I think we're seeing the bottoms here, and they're going to start rolling. Riot looks much better than Mara, I would think, but they both look like they're going to try to get set up. But like I said, Riot looks a little better. MSTR, good old MicroStrategy's up $10, and we're going to see that try to curl back up, I think. It's at 300. Remember, it was over 500 not long ago. So MSTR, if Bitcoin starts looking better like it is, that'll start cruising again. CLSK, same thing. Clean spark up 24 cents, and I think you got the bottom there. It's going to start curling again, so keep an eye on that. CLSK, I think we're finding some good prices down here. Coin up a little bit, and I think that's trying to bottom out and trying to get rolling. Let me look at that in the after hours. Good old coin. Yeah, it looks like it bottomed out and it's trying to get rolling again. So keep your eye on COIN and DJT. That Trump media is pulled back a little bit and not cruising up like it should have, but it's not looking terrible either. So we'll keep an eye on that as he gets closer to him getting in and see if DJT wants to do anything right there. It was looking better a few weeks ago, but it did pull back. And good old Fun is up. Fun's going to get curled up and running regardless. It's going to be fun. And MTN pulled back quite a bit today. I don't know what happened here, but well, I don't know what happened actually. What did happen? I don't know why it fell back so much, but it's gonna definitely bounce off that bottom. So we're definitely gonna be watching that bad boy because that's gonna be a great one right there. MTN and McDonald's is trying to get set up. Like I was saying, it was up 262 and it wants to get curled through there. So keep an eye on MCD because it wants to try to move, and Boeing was pulling back, and it should, and it looks like it's going to go down some more, so let it. And Space, SPCE is up, and like I've been saying, these things do look like they want to go to space. This is an aerospace and defense one, and it was trying to set up like a month ago and didn't do it, and now it looks much better, so we'll see if it does get set up on SPCE. And let's take a look at good old Rivian. It was down 5 cents, and it looks like it's still just pulling back right there. RIVN. And yeah, it could just pull back a little bit more, Rivian. So we'll keep an eye and see if it's going to pull back some more. Good old PLTR is finally pulling back there. Again, I would still be very careful with it, but it's definitely pulling back. It finally came out of that top right there, and it did have a nice little pullback, but still close to that 20 and not looking terrible. So you have to be careful with it. I'm not going to lie. So just be careful with that, with the PLTR, and then I was thinking Sophie too. I was thinking about that one. SOFI, that one pulled back quite a bit, and we'll see it's hitting that 50. It could want to bounce back up, so just be careful with them too. And Dell is looking really good. It was up $1.29, and this thing might want to get blasting off. So keep an eye on Dell. It's looking really good. Possibly, maybe he wants to run tomorrow. So we'll see if Dell wants to fly. And let's take a look at Nike. That was trying to get set up. It was down today. So catch that dip as it's getting set up. It'll be perfect. And DXYZ was dipping too. So we'll catch that bad boy. And that will be looking good as well. And let's go through real quick and see what these quantum ones, because our GTI ran way up today and it's cruising back up to the top. So let's look at QUBT, because that one looks like it wants to try to roll off that MACD and get cruising again. Let me see. Yeah, it does look like it does. So we got to keep an eye on these bad boys. QBTS looks like it wants to do the same thing. QBTS. That's that D-Wave Quantum. It looks like it's trying to crawl back up and get back up into the top. QMCO. That's the Quantum Corp. That one might be pulling back, but it had just run up. That one was like kind of late to the party, I feel like. So we'll see if it's going to get back to the MACD and then curl back up like the rest look like. QTUM is the Defiance Quantum ETF, and that it did cross down, but it looks like it wants to try to cross back up or make that hard crawl back up. And if it does that, you know these things are going to be moving if the ETF is doing that. And IONQ, this thing was up $1.33, and it's going to start looking bullish again. So keep your eye on that. It just crossed down, but has that look like it wants to get bounced back up there. So keep an eye on IONQ, and that's some quantum and computer ones. And you know what else is looking great? Sezzle. But I learned that they don't have options on SEZL, so it's a $272 stock. We were looking at it the other day. It's up to over $17 today. What did it run? I'll tell you, because I was looking at it. I tried to buy options on it. I promise you. It opened at 260 and it ran up to 272 and it closed at 272. So I know, sucks, doesn't a laptop travel? I told you that one was looking good. looking great. I laughed too. I was like, God damn, all the good ones don't have a damn option. I looked on both my accounts and all over. Yeah, SEZL and Drug didn't have them either. I went to look and see again because that one was looking good. There's a few of them that are, and that DXYZ doesn't have them. So I guess all the big ones don't necessarily have options. I used to assume that they did, but they don't. But yeah, Sezzle looking great, and it did run up today. I wanted to get in it this morning, and I couldn't. So, well, I could have. I could have bought the stock, but I wasn't. I wanted to buy the options. And there you go with that one. And what is SEDG doing? Because that one was running up before, and we haven't looked at it. Solar Edge. And that one looks like it wants to pop, guys. Holy cow, we should have been watching this. Keep your eye on SEDG. I wonder if that does that have options? Because that one you might want to get right there. I know RGTI has options. Some of them quantum ones do. Check and see SEDG. See if that has options right there. That one looks really good. Solar in Israel. That one's popping tomorrow. I'm telling you, it went up $1.20 and it's going to pop up some more right there. So SEDG looking real good for that. And let's see what else is going on over here. I have a couple others from that show earlier that I wrote down, and we'll just look at them real quick. We did a lot of them. LMT, Lockheed Martin's looking pretty damn good. I'll tell you what. That one's getting set up, guys, in aerospace and defense. What did I tell you the other day? Whenever I say aerospace and defense is getting set up like this, and I've only said it, what, two times, three times, every time there's been an attack. And I said it right before New Year's. And things are just setting up. Lockheed Martin, there's a couple other ones. AIR, that one's getting set up right here, looking pretty good. It was up a little bit. AVAV, this one is setting up. It was up 256 today, and thing wants to curl up and get cruising. So keep an eye on that one. Last time I said that, Trump almost got assassinated. Boeing, that one's pulling back, and it should. I said BWXT, this thing looks great as well. It's starting to set up right there. HII, I'll come right to your laptop travel. HII, that Huntington Ignals or something. That one's trying to set up right there. LXH is L3 Harris Technologies pulling back. It actually dipped down a little bit today, but went up in the after hours. And that one's going to get set up. It's been in the basement right there. TXT. Let's see what that one was doing. Oh, if I could type it in. TXT Textron, and this one again just pulling back. They're down in the bottom right there. They're going to get set up anytime they're way down there like that. You know they're going to be good. And WWD Woodward, this one's getting set up. It was up like $4 today, so that was aerospace and defense. Some of the bigger ones right there, they were looking great. Banking, the Bank of America, that one's looking pretty sweet to get rolling. So is JP Morgan, JPM. That one's trying to get set up as well. Just watch for any dips right there. We did our semiconductors. Dell was looking good. Boyle was up a little bit, and I think it could be trying to get topped out maybe. I don't know. Boyle and Cold are starting to look a little crazy. So kind of like that yin and the yang did before, and then they got really hard to see. The yin was down some more today, and the yang was up. And again, they're getting hard to tell. So yeah, them things, they were easy before, but they're just getting all kinds of jumping around a lot. So there you go with them bad boys. And we did look at that Unity software, and that one was curling up looking good. So yeah, there were some of the ones I looked at there earlier. And let me see what you guys want to see. I know Laptop Travel had some things that he wanted to post there. And let's take a look and see. Let's take a look. Aerospace and defense. Oh, let's look and see. That's down. It says overnight. Let's look at Defen, DFEN. Oh, DFEN. Why can't I type DFEN? There we go. And let's look at that. It just pulled back a little bit today. I'm telling you, they're curled right there, hitting them bottom lines and getting set up. They're getting ready to rock and roll. I'm telling you right now. They're down there and they're ready. So it's just a matter of when, and it might not be tomorrow, like I say, but when we say they're getting set up, it could be 2 weeks, but they will run, and they'll run hardcore. So they are getting set up, I promise you that. And it's not a good thing when aerospace and defense gets set up. And every time I say it, something gets attacked. So there you go with them, and they are really getting set up there. So makes you think sometimes right around that, and when they're the inauguration or whatever, they're gonna. It's looking kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll keep an eye and see what's happening. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on them every day, and let's see what else is going on here. Oh, they have SEDG call options. That's a beauty right there. Laptop travel. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Keep an eye on that one tomorrow, guys. That SEDG and the options, because that one's a good one to take a look at. It's looking great. Like I said, they don't have them for the other couple that I was looking at, and they decided to run up like crazy today. So. This one's looking good and wants to get cruising SEDG, and it should be fairly cheaper because it's only at 14.80 a share, so it won't be that much for them. So there you go with that. Thank you. And RGTI, that one ran like crazy, ran up some more today. Definitely has options. And yeah, take a look at them quantum and computer hardware ones that we just went through. Some of them have options, and they'll be good. Let's see what else. Juan Doan, I think his name is right there. Let's see what's going on. SOBR, we were going through this before. That is a scientific and technical instruments, and I was saying these things were trying to get set up as well. This sector, SOBR was running around, and as a matter of fact, it is trying to get set up and run. So I would keep an eye on that as a matter of fact. And like I said, that sector was looking good. We went through it the other day, and there was a bunch of them. I'll have to find them bad boys and see where they are, and we'll go through them again. And TRUG, that good old True Golf, we smashed this out of the park. Well, I won't say out of the park. We hit a hole in one with this, but it is setting back up. That 20 and 50 are meeting back up, so it could get teed off again. So I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll let you know if it's going to tee off again. The last time I said it was going to tee off, it ran over 100% in like a day. So we'll keep an eye on it, and I'll let you know about that one right there. And how about RR? We did that one, Rich Tech Robotics, and it's just pulling back there. So let it pull back a little bit, and I'll give you the bottom. Barber wants to see that MGOL. We were looking at this before as well, and it is kind of curl back up and try to get out of that basement finally. So let's see. It did run, what, 54 to 90? There you go. It closed at 80, and it's looking really good. So there you go with that one, Barb. And of course, she's loving her profits on ELAB. She's going for round 4 tomorrow, guys. There you go. Barb just started listening to the show recently, and she's way involved. I love it. Always sending them in and smacking them out of the park now. So there we go. It's just a great community, and we're going to get everybody on the same page and everybody just rocking and rolling. And again, not everyone's going to trade the same ones, but we'll get everybody on the same page where you kind of know what's going to be moving. And then I'm going to have a little, I'm going to introduce a little bit of a very cheap paid service thing just through the Twitter, because they have the subscription. So I'm just going to make it like the $9.99 a month. You'll make the whole year in the first trade, I promise. And then I'll just highlight the exact ones that I think are going to be popping, but I'll do it on there just so it's a little more different. And then if people want to just check out that, you check out the show, you can get a huge watch list. You can just play them, whatever. We'll have a lot of different options. And like I said, I only have that idea because so many people have messaged me and asked me to do it. So I said, all right, if that's what people want, I'll give you exactly what you guys want. We'll keep it all nice and cheap and do it exactly like that. So I thought that would definitely work. So I'm definitely going to put that all together. I have it pretty much together. I just got to set it all up on the X, and we'll have that. So you'll have plenty of opportunities. And like I said, we're just going to destroy this market, and everybody looks at different things. So I'll offer like a big cap, a small cap, a crypto coin, and I'll probably keep it updated through the week and do different stuff there for that. And like I said, we're going to keep it like dirt cheap. So it's like nothing for you guys. And just a little extra bonus in addition to the live shows. We'll be doing them. Nothing else will change. It'll just be a little extra bonus right there. So just something else to look forward to. And yeah, I just want everybody to be on the same page somewhat and just be nailing these poppers and just have clarity of what's exactly going to be popping because we go through a lot. And like I say, these like Laptop Travels lists, he's given out a ton of them and lots of 100%ers. I mean, we just crush them and we have to watch them set up, but then we pinpoint exactly when they're going to run. So we'll start really kind of making it clear. And again, I'm not a financial guy. I just look at charts and tell you what I see. And, but yeah, we'll try to get everybody on the same page so everybody's nailing them left and right. And it's just the best community ever where everybody's just having a great time and locking in profits each day because that's the name of the game and that's all we want to do. It's a lot of fun when you're all doing it and posting your profits and everything. And even on the down markets and the sideways ones, we'll still hit them because there's always a popper. And again, if you just play the market safe and smart, I won't say safe because I don't know if there's a safe way to play it, but if you play it smart and don't try to play too many and just zero in on that one or two that you really like and just trade them really smart. And obviously it's easier to trade one of them real smart. If it's pulling back, you can get out with a real small loss as opposed to having money spread out in five of them and they start pulling back and now you're trying to make decision. It becomes crazy and then you have life going on too. So now you're trying to think of this and you have your life happening. So it gets a little wild. And so if you just focus on the one that you really are confident with and you really like it, it makes it much easier. And then you can just stick to your plan. You say, hey, I like it to get to this area. And if it's going up as I'm selling it, it's a bonus. And you stick to that plan, you nail it, you hit your profits, you get out, and you go to the next one. So we're going to try to get everybody on the same page like that. And again, everyone's just trading different ones, so it's hard to say, take this one. That's why I try not to do that, and I just go through the market, tell you what I see, where the bottoms are, how to play them. But I will set it up like that where I give out a few each week and that I think that I'm pretty confident in that are going to run. Like this week, it would have been like NVIDIA. I would have had as the big cap. It looks good. I bought some. I had options on it and it's going up. So that one looked the best out of the Mag 7 lately. I mean, it just was getting set up there and we were talking about the semiconductor. So more or less like that. I discuss all this on the show, but maybe just make it on paper that real quick, boom. So just look for that, just something in addition. And yeah, I try to make everything real clear on here, but again, we go through a lot of stuff and I enjoy going through them all. It keeps my brain going. It keeps me sharp with the charts. And like I say, I feel like I'm in the matrix with these things. So I'd rather not, stop doing this. It's definitely a bonus. I don't trade them all. You guys know that, but I love to look at them, break them down for you guys, and it's a bonus for everybody. It kind of helps us all out, so it works out well. And yeah, we'll do a little extra stuff, videos, and more content on the way. So just try to make it a little more active and interactive and keep everybody on the same page and just crushing winners. Like Barb's been hitting them. I know that. Elab, she had a couple that pulled back. I had to yell at Elab that day and then it popped up for her the very next day. TWG did the same thing. So sometimes you just got to talk to them and they'll run for you. But no, they get in the right spot. You see it and they're going to pop up. Sometimes they do pull back. They're set up and they do pull back on you. You have some red days there. We've seen it. We just saw it happen last week and they kind of pull back. Apple did it today. I mean, sometimes they just pull back on you and you just got to play them smart and get the winning trade out of it, and that's it. So that's what we're going to set it up to do for the 2025 and kind of make sure everybody's having a great time locking in profits. And because I know a lot of people were towards the end of the year, and like I said before, it would get good around Halloween, great around Thanksgiving, and amazing during Christmas. And I seen some of you guys were crushing them, and then it kind of pulled back right here. And this is the best opportunities to start buying again. So when they start moving, that's when we want to get them at the bottom, ride them back up, and you'll start seeing them 10K days or whatever you're putting in, but you'll start seeing them big days again. And again, just take them profits and roll them over. And if the market's a little sideways, you just wait a week or so and you play the one or two poppers that you like. So that's what what we're getting into, and we're really going to zero in on things and nail them down. Let me just look at the scanner real quick. I'll go through the messages real fast, see what's going on, and then we'll call it a night. And I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for our pre-market for Friday to wrap up the first trading week of 2025. And I'm just looking at this, and it looks like everything we've already gone through. Lucid, that one's kind of just jumping around there. It could be pulling back actually, but we ran that one way up. That REVB, we were looking at that. That had run up there. And again, CRKN's on there. We're going to keep an eye on that. That LAES might run back up. That Seals Q Corp, that one's been crazy too. And then Sophie PLTR and Plug. So I think we basically looked at everything on here. Let me just take a quick look over here and see if there's anything crazy with the volume. And we'll see. AEI we looked at. TXMD. A couple of these we've already looked at. All these, that ALCE, remember Alice, I was saying, it's that Alternus Clean Energy, but that one was rolling up today. We were looking at that yesterday. And Easy Go, that one's down. We might have to look at that one. It's just pulling back right there. Let's see what else. Anything else catching my eye right here? Nothing there. Nothing there. All right, I don't see anything too crazy there. So let me see if you guys want to see anything else, and then we'll get wrapped up here. Let's see, JTAI. Let's see that one. We haven't looked at that one in a while. Jet AI Inc. We had looked at this for a while there. JTAI. This was like one on the list for a while. It did run up not long ago. Christmas Eve, it ran up. And let's see, it's pulling back to that 20. It could be getting set back up here, JTAI. So I'll look at this for us tomorrow. Not looking bad. Like I said, did run up there Christmas Eve, pulling back to the 20 and looking like it wants to set back up. So we'll take a look at JTAI again. And yeah, that one did recently just run up. I remembered CRKN. Let's go. I know that one's been a pain. It's been down there for a long time. It reminds me of that ALLR. And we had looked at that when I first started doing the show. It ran in the basement forever. And I remember I guess a bunch of people started jumping into it. It started looking really good, and it popped. And that might have been one of the first ones that a few of the beginning listeners had really hit a big popper on. It was a really nice 100% pluser, and it came out of the basement and just went nutty. And I think that's when people said, wow, this guy kind of knows what's going on. So, but yeah, this one reminds me of that one, ALLR and CRKN. It just keeps running down here in the basement, even though it keeps setting up, trying to get out and run. And it will, trust me, it'll run. And when it does, it'll be over 100%er right there, just the way it looks. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and just find when it's ready to run. It looked like it was trying to the other day and it kind of went flat. Again, it's if you find that bottom right there, which is about 13 cents, like 12 in the high 12s, 13 cents, you're not really that worried as if you get caught chasing it like on New Year's Eve when it ran up to 23 and you get caught chasing it up there and then it comes back down to 13, you get screwed. Or you're in 13, you sell it at that 23, and then that 13's your bottom. You come back and buy it because you're figuring it's going to pull back because it didn't keep running. And so you got out and you just played it that way. So you just got to kind of think of these things. And again, you got to write that game plan down ahead of time because once they start moving and things are cruising, your emotions get in the way and you can't really think as clear as I can just say, like, hey, that's the way you want to play it. You go everybody sitting here can look at it and say, hey, this is the way you want to play it. It's just when it gets involved, you got to be able to put your emotions to the side and say, this is what I have to do. And basically journaling your trades is the easiest and best way, the most successful way to do it because you can look at it and say, this is what I want to do. I had a clear head. Let me stick to that plan. And you'll notice if you don't stick to the plan, you'll get screwed almost 9 out of 10 times. You might get lucky once in a while. But I'm telling you, you write down your plan, you stick to it. It's money. Will they run up a little higher? Of course they will. I mean, you're not going to pick the tops every time. And who cares? You make great profit on an easy trade and you take it and run. Don't worry about tops and bottoms so much. We find the bottoms, believe me. We easily find every single bottom. The tops are hard to find as well as we read the charts and even like a laptop travel and the rest of you guys, Luis Rodriguez, Peninsula Life, and all of you guys, Jennifer Lee. There's a ton of you that know what's going on. Look at charts. You all know it's very hard to see the tops. Maybe it'll get easier as this new administration rolls in. These last 3.5 years, 4 years have been crazy. So you just kind of have to take some profits as they're moving up. Again, I tell you the crazy story about FFIE. Ran over 8,000% in 10 days. I sold most of my position at 2,000% and thought that was crazy for it to run another 6,000%. And I was just blown away, never seen anything like it. But yeah, you just don't know. I mean, I thought I was living on the edge when I let it run the 2,000%, and here I could have let it run another 6,000%. So that's pretty absurd right there. But you don't see that every day. Of course, we haven't seen one since, and we may never ever see one again. It was just, I don't think I ever saw anything like that in my 20 years plus of looking at charts. So, I mean, yeah, they come along and you hit them, but you can't look for that every day because it just doesn't happen. You have to look at it in a realistic way, and obviously your probability and risk is the best way to look at it. So when you look at it like that, you'll try to make better choices. So there you go with that. But yeah, CRKN, I agree that that needs to get rolling, and it will. It's just a matter of when it will. And Barbara wants to join. Perfect. And thank you. And like I said, the idea only came about the little newsletter like monthly or week. I'll probably do it weekly to be honest with you. And yeah, I'll definitely do it weekly. And but yeah, so many people sent me messages just asking, like kind of requesting it. So I said, oh, I'll do it. I mean, I didn't really think about it. I wasn't going to do anything like that. But, and again, we'll keep it super cheap so that it's very affordable. And like I said, you'll make that on one trade. I mean, you'll make the whole entire year on one trade. You guys see what we can do here. So it's, I'll just tell you what I like and, basically go from there. And again, I'm not a financial guy at all. Obviously, I just look at charts and tell you what I see. And, we just go from there. I just give you an honest look. And obviously things can change at any moment, and we just try to keep it up to date and know what's going on. And that's the best way to attack the market and really stay on it and be profitable, is always knowing what's going on, being ahead of the trends, which we tend to be, and just seeing things before they happen, which we always see. So that's how you do it. And then just don't overdo it with yourself and try to trade too many of them. I made that mistake way too many times. That's why I'm telling you guys, you're more profitable and it's easier if you just stick to one or two that you're real confident with and just trade them smart than trying to say, oh, these five look like they're going to pop. Let me just throw some money in all of them. Just take the one that you really, really like and trade it smart. You'll end up being more profitable. So it's just experience I've learned over the 20 plus years of looking at these and trying to trade with them, and then learn how to trade really smart. So that's what it comes down to. You guys know you can pick all the 100%ers. If you don't trade them smart, it's useless. And trading smart's the one thing that people don't really talk about. That is the most important thing. You guys can see we can all pick charts pretty easily. It's the question is, when do you hit the sell button? And that sell button's always so hard to hit. And that's why we have a plan. We know what we're looking at, and you get out with your profits. So it's a lot of mindset too, having that positive attitude and just keep going forward, and just know that you're going to do well with it. You're not going to hit every single one the way you want, so you can't get down on yourself. And yeah, you just take it in stride and do the best that you can, and always learn from it. And trust me, you'll start hitting them singles and doubles. They'll roll over. You'll see your account grow. The home runs and grand slams, they just somehow filter. When you have that positive energy and you're doing it like that and you're trading them smart, somehow your account just keeps building. When you're trying to stretch it out with 5 to 10 trades and you're like doing, crazy things, I would say, your account's going to reflect it. So that's why I'm saying I've seen it both ways, and I know you do it smart, your account will grow pretty well, pretty fast. So that's just a little insight from me. And let's see what else we have going on here. I think we got everything for the most part. Let me make sure. Um, Let me see. FFIE, you're still holding that. Well, that one still looks pretty decent. It's going to run up tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, you may want to look at getting out of that bad boy as it runs up there. I'm not so sure it's going to run like it did that one time. They haven't really been running like that. They get into the top, they run hard. This has that look. It has that momentum look like tomorrow morning. It wants to run up some more. And then you're just not going to know because, again, you're going to come to a weekend after a weird week, and then there's going to be an off day Thursday. So if you're relying on next week, you basically have to make sure it pops up Monday because who knows what it will do. If it starts pulling back there on Monday or Tuesday, it's probably not going to keep that momentum having a day off Thursday. So just kind of giving you a heads up right there for FFIE. But like I said, it does have that momentum. And again, if it still wants to run heavy and you sell and you take them profits, and then next week it still looks great, you can always get back in them. You don't have to be at the bottom. If you just made profit, you just take that profit and put it back into the trade. And then now you're just playing with house money. And now you're going to hit it again and make more money. And then you can allocate the money that you use for for that trade and do another trade, or sit there and wait for your what you're looking for. So different ways to play it and be profitable. And again, just trade them smart. That's what it comes down to. So when they get into the top, you know what I say, you got to be looking to lock in those profits, because how long can they? I mean, we've seen some of these quantum ones, and like obviously that's Sophie and PLTR. They've run up there for a long time. It's not normal. I'm telling you, you can't get used to that. Maybe this administration, maybe it'll happen, but again, it's not that look, and it's not exactly what's happening. They're just specific sector and certain ones that are just getting crazy. So you can't expect everything to do it all the time. So that's why, like in FFIE, it got into the top, pulled back out, and it just happened to get back in. I think we're getting lucky to see that other pop come up. So, again, just and I scale out as they're going up too. So just lock in profits. You can never be upset when you lock in profits. And like I say FFIE right now is at what, 370 or wherever it's at, and you sold it at 375 and it went to 450. The minute you'll be mad for a couple minutes while it's going up like that, but the minute it comes back down under that 370 or whatever you just sold it at 375, you're going to be so happy that you got rid of it because it's not going back up. And so yeah, you got to lock in those profits. If you constantly hold them, you'll hold bags forever. So, and then they'll reverse split on you, and you'll never see it profitable again. So, just a little heads up right there. And there you go. Barbara just said exactly. She had too many tickers going at one time and would get completely stressed out trying to juggle them. Crazy stuff for sure. There you go. Barbara's basically saying the same thing that I was kind of telling you, but she's lived it and she's telling you, yeah, it's not the way to do it. And I think Barbara's kind of zeroed in on like one or two of the penny ones that she likes, and she's been nailing them lately. So, and again, she hit that E-Lab. This is like her fourth time. She's been in and out of the trades, just nailing it as it goes up. So there you go. And yeah, we'll have a great little community here where we can all learn from each other. And again, nobody's ever going to be perfect, especially in this industry. I can promise you that. If anyone ever tells you they hit 100%, they're out of their minds. And because I'm as honest as they get, and we're pretty accurate. We do like probably we're probably pretty close to 9 out of 10 we can hit. And that's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie. And still, you still have to be able to trade them smart. That's the thing. Like when people say, yeah, you can pick them all. Yeah, can you trade them like that though? And that's where it comes down to. And you catch people off when you ask them that question. I pick all these. Did you trade them smart? And you can catch their reaction real quick when you ask them. Again, I'm an open book. I tell you how it is, and I call it how I see it. So you guys know what I do, and I post the stuff. So it's not like I try to bluff anything or hide anything. I tell you, I don't trade the pennies anymore. If I am hopping in one, I basically told you all the ones I've hopped in, and I told you the options that we've run. So yeah, I've gotten to the option world and I like it. And but I will hit the penny stocks, and I'm just going to look at 2025 as the best opportunity. And like I was saying before, that's kind of what the newsletter will be. It'll be the best opportunity to be the most profitable thing that I think for that week, or maybe them couple days right there, because they do change fast. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And then obviously we do the show, and you have an entire watch list of like 100 of them. You could choose any of them. Again, based on whatever style you like or what you try to do, and you can go to town with them. So I think it's a pretty knowledgeable little service that we have here in a community. Like I said, Laptop Travel provides a ton. Asian Joe Lee with the Joe Lee's jumpers, and so many other people provide so many great stock tickers. I really don't even have to look at them anymore at the scanner so much. I do it on here, and for the most part, you guys send in everything. So it's a beautiful, it just works out great. It's a great community that just keeps growing and seems to be a lot of fun. So I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out always. And yeah, there you go. So deleted somebody, missed EJH. Here you go. That one's actually looking good. That was up today. Remember, we were looking at that and WTO. That one was up too. Remember, we said we had to add them back to the list. Both of them popped back up today. So there you go. And they still look pretty good to continue to run up there. So there you go. At EJH and WTO, both of them China ones look good. WTO, yeah, they're both China ones, and yeah, they both look good. So there you go. We just added them on the list, and again, we just add things to the list that are about to run. You can't expect them to pop forever. So if they pop, take your profits and move on to the next one, because you know there's about to be 10 more coming right behind it. And that's what I kind of had to learn too. I had to learn, no reason to hold on to any of these. That's why options are great. They force you to sell at the expiration, but people that are in the stocks, I'm telling you, there's no reason to hold on to any of these. They're not worth anything, so take the cash, because you can use cash to buy things. You're never going to buy anything with MULN stock when it reverse splits 45 times on you in a year. So just when they pop, you take the money and you take it and make more money with it. So there you go. And Doge Mama said I hit on some topics that of what exactly has happened to her. For example, like Barbara said, picking too many to play. It's getting better every week, better every day. So thank you. You are welcome, Doge Mama 9. Thank you for hanging out. And that is why I know I go off on a little tangent sometimes and just sit there and tell you about things, but it just comes into my brain and I'm just like, hey, let me tell you about this, because again, I've seen this for so long, 20 plus years. And yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen every market condition, I have to assume. And because I traded through '08 when that crash happened, and I did pretty bad then. I lost some money, and I learned a lot. It was probably one of my biggest learning experiences. So like I say, I give you examples of my experience, and mostly of I tell you guys, I could tell you every single thing that you will do wrong in the market and try to prevent you from doing it, because I've probably made every mistake at least 3 to 5 times before I finally decided to change, what I was doing and make it better. And obviously, I'm thick-headed. I mean, I took a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a 2-story house off the top of my head and still survived. So it does take me 3 to 5 times, I guess, and to make mistakes, but I stuck with it, and it got way better. Again, it was just learning how to trade. I knew I could read the charts. It just came down to really knowing how to trade, and then that's really mindset and being disciplined. So that's why I discuss these things, because they're the most important things in this industry. And again, if you can avoid all the mistakes that I've made throughout the years, which I try to help you avoid them, you'll be way more profitable. You'll have way more fun. And especially as this market runs, you'll have a great time, because you'll be locking in profits. And again, just avoiding the little small mistakes that people make as they're starting out, and not even starting out. People make the same mistakes for years and years and years. It's just one of these industries. And again, it's an emotional thing. So you got to kind of get your emotions to the side and just not use them. And it's hard to do that. I've been doing it a long time, so I guess it's just one of them things I've learned to do. Turn off my emotions, just look at this thing and tell you what I see, and that's how I trade them. And yeah, you can't hit every one of them, but your emotions, if you let that get in the way, they'll screw up every single trade for you. So that's why I say you want to journal them and not trade too many because it becomes an emotional train wreck. And I definitely know all about it. And like I said, I made all them mistakes and then I battled back and crushed the market. I pretty much crushed the market in every single scenario. Even when I was down, my biggest loss, I ended up making one of my biggest hits. So I somehow just kind of figure things out. But again, it's not just throwing darts at things. I sit here and do this for hours and hours and hours and years and years and years. So there is really a formula to actually doing it the right way. And that's why I discuss these things because I'm telling you the right way to do it. And you can avoid 5, 10 years of just, not locking in these profits and not trading smart. Most people won't make it that long because, it's just one of them industries that I've seen a lot of people just do it for 2, 3 years and then it beats them up. And again, it comes down to that mindset and trading smart. If you trade smart, you could do this for the rest of your life and always have income coming in and pretty easy income. But if you try to do it, and you're trying to gamble and run 10 of them and you're just throwing darts at these things, it's going to be tough and it's going to be stressful. So just a little insight, and that's why I do it. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. Again, I'll be on at 7 a.m. for our pre-market. We'll have our laptop lowdowns and our Jolie's jumpers from Asian Jolie. So laptop travel, thank you very much for all your help. And Winter Mute and O'Hare's Bastard Child, Low Country Profits, and Green's on here. Who's that? Hans, sir, somebody. Well, we have a doctor on here. I like to see that. Bong Pri Chan and Doge Mama 9 and Sherry and Drake and Douglas is on here. And who else is here? Early Retirement, MS, NorCal, Sinai, CT, J Kratz, Sponko. Bruce is on here. That's Bruce DeHaan. And Monkey Ninja Pigs there. And so many other people. There's a anonymous traders on there. I don't know how to say this, Christoph and Barbara and Alicia, and there's a bunch of other people. And thank you so much for tuning in again. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll do our pre-market for Friday morning. See how the first week of 2025 is going to wrap up, and we'll see what's going to be popping. It will be in the video, I'll tell you that. And we had so many others. I'll post out the list real quick because I marked it all up and you guys can see what I liked. And there you go. So if you have any questions or want to see anything in the morning, just let me know. Shoot me a comment and I will check it out. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good night, everybody.